Oh, good morning, brave souls. I'm so happy that you are here on this GITA morning, so bright and cheery. And at the same time, we're going to listen to why people shun the divine. This is all the dark side stuff today. You sure you want to be online? Well, we'll switch it around, you know. One of Yogananda's greatest strengths was that whenever someone criticized him, whenever someone tried to cheat him, when someone tried to, you know, bring him down and all those things, he always got more inspired than ever to practice all those qualities of the soul, the noble qualities of the soul. He would it immediately remind him that I need to forgive more. I need to love this person more. And so that's probably the number one reason why God has created this duality dream delusion, my dears, is so that we can, on the dark nights of our soul, uh, find a way from a deep place, a core place, a soul place within us to bring in the light. May this be the reminder for all of us this morning, is that when we hear, see, experience, go through a cycle of not positive consciousness or whatever way you want to look at, when it's hard for you, it's really to just motivate you to pay attention to your soul self and let the soul self come through to you and bring in the light in your darkest days and your darkest nights. Yeah. So that's kind of the setup for this morning. But I'm so happy, Narayan, that you're here, Mary and Alex, that you are here, Lisa and Jim and Brooke. Gosh, it's so nice to have have distant friends. You know what I'm saying? Ones that aren't in the proximity of the physical, but they're more close than close can be, because there is something about it. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. So thank you so much for being here, and let me just read this for your comfort's sake, before we start listing, these verses 7 to 18, which are, when in the English, it's just how the world is kind of doing its thing right now. It's the dark energy that's in the world right now. So we're right in tune with the up to date with what's happening, and this isn't just about, we're in the golden ages right now and we're talking about what it was like in the dark ages. No, we're in the dark ages. Talking about the dark ages today. But this is something from Emerson that I think will give us a little lift right from the get-go before I start going through these qualities that aren't so special. They're not ennobling. They're debilitating is what they are. So this is what he said. This is my wish for you, my dear. So this is really the when you hear something dark, when you're going through something dark, it just turns on the light. No, honestly, you know that your most powerful times, the most memorable times of your life have been in the darkest struggles, right? Because look at you now, absorbing truth, coming to a Bhagavad Gita study course for 9 years or whatever it's been. So, this is what Emerson wants us to know this morning before we get started. He said, "This is my wish for you: comfort, comfort in difficult days." See, this is what we're talking about. Smiles when sadness intrudes. So just think of the opposite when you get caught up in the dark side, my dears. When you get caught up in the sad times, when you get caught up in the difficult days, right? Rainbows, this is his wish. Rainbows to follow the clouds. Boy, Trisha, every time she's there's a storm and the sun comes out, and the sun coming through the clouds, she's always looking for the rainbow. Always. Rainbows to follow the clouds. Laughter, this is fun. Laughter to kiss your lips. Okay. laughter to kiss your lips, sunsets to warm your heart. Don't you feel better already? Hugs when your spirits sag, beauty for your eyes to see, friendships, friendships. That's what we got on this Gita line this morning. We've got friendships, SFF, soul friends forever, to brighten your being, faith, so that you can believe, confidence for when you doubt, courage to know yourself, patience to accept the trials in your life, and love to complete your life. And love to complete your life. All right. So all we got to do is when we listen to the dark side, when we're in the dark side, when we're having, not the best day of our lives, let's put it that way, that we somehow know that the light gets brighter, the love gets stronger, you get more seasoned, you know, you get more, you know, where you're unstoppable, right? You're unstoppable because everything that is dark reminds you to bring in the light, to go to the light, to live in the light, to breathe in the light. Yeah. So this is good times. These are good times, my dears. Anyway, so listen, we're on verse 6, page 972, this chapter 16. God talks to Arjuna, volume 2. All right. And the verse goes like this: there's two types of men and women that exist in this world. Two types. Two types. Very simple: dark and light. The divine and the demonic. I have told you fully about the divine qualities, O Arjuna, and O Narayanji, and Mary, and Alex, and Lisa, and Jim, and Brooke. I've told you about the 26 ennobling qualities. Now, hear about the demonic. O son and daughter of Pritha Arjuna. All right. So no big deal, my dears. In the autobiography of Yogi Yogananda goes on to say, I have written. This is in the AY, the autobiography of a yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda. Remember that book? In measuring the worth of a man or measuring the worth of a woman, a saint employs an invariable criterion. So it's kind of what we're building up for, right? That when the dark side is upon us, when it moves in, when the dark clouds move in, after a couple of days of sunshine and goodwill and you know patience and forgiveness and remembrance of God and all those beautiful things, and measuring the worth of a man and a woman, a saint employs an invariable criterion. Are you interested in this invariable criterion, Narayanji? Gosh, I don't know how you moms and dads can do this thing. I don't know how you all do this thing. To me, you're so totally the heroes. A mom and a dad raising children is the breakfast of champions. Yeah, no kidding. My hat goes off to you that raise children. I got a couple doodles, and that's enough for me in this life. I kind of switched the playing, the playing field, and went the other way. Mono, monk, one, just trying to sort out all the dark side of lifetimes into a lifetime of light. That's how I've been going about it, my dears. But for you that raise children, oh my God, all the power to you, my dears. So let's hear about this invariable criterion that that the holy ones measure the worth of a person. So one, far different from the shifting yardsticks of the world. So in measuring the worth of a man and woman, a saint employs an invariable criterion, one far different from the shifting yardsticks of the world. Humanity, so variegated in its own eyes, is seen by a master to be divided into two classes: the ignorant people who are not seeking God, and the wise people who are. All right. So there we have the great divide: the ignorant who are not seeking what you and I are here on this GITA line are seeking, right? And then there are those who are, like on a GITA broadcast perhaps this morning at the same time as us, or a church worship, whatever. And there's those kind, all right? So very simple. They're the ones that are thinking of God right now, and those that completely immersed in worldly thoughts, but they don't know it. In fact, we don't know a thing. Either way, we don't know a thing. That's a good policy. That's a good criterion too. Lord, I don't know a thing. All I know is that without you, I don't have a chance. With you, I have every chance in the world. Okay. So Yogananda goes on to say, you've heard this word, the gunas, right? The dark side, the tamas, the active, which usually is more ego involved in what we want to have happen. That's the rajas. And then there's the sattvic, the spiritual. All those gunas, all of them mixed together and like in a washing machine. So in expanding the nature of the gunas, the rishis, now those are saints, said there are three classes of men. We just talked about the two, the ignorant and the wise. But in expanding the three gunas, that's three. That those predominantly marked by sattva, good, rajas, activity, usually for selfish purposes, or tamas, ignorance. All persons possess the three gunas. So we have three gunas that are also mixed. We're all mixed up in the three gunas. All persons possess the three gunas in varying proportions. But as a whole, my dears, it's good to know, just put it in the background of your mind, that the life of each person, the life of you, reveals that she and he learn more heavenly, more heavily, either toward, so do we lean more heavily toward good, or do we lean more heavily towards the evil? So in this sense, stanza 6 refers to two. Yes, two myths in one. Two rather than three types of humanity. Well, aren't you glad you woke up just to hear some of this? But listen, it's not so much about how we're perceiving something right now. It's the attitude of the gratitude that we're awake to hear some kind of wisdom. And don't take that lightly. Take it deeply. Take it in celebration and in gratitude that you are a very, very special being on this planet right now, my dears. And there's nothing, you don't have to go prove anything to anybody. You don't have to, always talk about it and think about it so much as to just be inspired. Inspiration, the spirit, and spiritu. Be inspired by this present moment, that regardless of how we woke up, which side of the bed and all that this morning, that we are here now, right here, right now. We're loving this, the Holy Infinite Spirit. And then we can add bliss. aho. So in the following verses, my dears, 7 to 18, Lord Krishna elaborates graphically, graphically, the ungodly, the ungodly traits of those who create in themselves a demonic nature. Wow. And that's going on pretty good on our planet right now, isn't it? But it always has been. Since the days of yore, there's been the duality dream delusion, my dears. So there's nothing really new to get overly emotional about or overly engrossed in. It's been here. It's always been a duality dream delusion. So analyze as direct, the demonic nature, analyzed as direct opposites of virtues. The opposite of virtues are evil qualities that may be readily recognized, and it is to be hoped. It is to be hoped. So we recognize when we're not in tune or aligned and all that kind of stuff, don't we? We kind of recognize it. And then maybe we have some hope about that we can do something about it, right? We have that little spark of light, that little tap on the shoulder from our higher self, from our soul self, that, well, we can do something about this. So once it's readily recognized as a dark quality, let's say, it is to be hoped that summarily it's shunned and vanquished from one storehouse, from one storehouse. There's Vinny. Welcome, Vinny. Welcome to the new day, to the new age, to the new age. Welcome to the new age, to the new age, Vinny. Yeah. So that once once we have a little hope after we notice that something's awry, right? That we maybe be slip sliding onto the dark side, that summarily we shun it and vanquish it from our storehouse of characteristics. Yeah. No, it's okay. Ben, you're on it. You're in divine timing, my friend. There's no late, there's no early, there's just divine timing, my brother. So thank you for being here. We love having you join us this morning, even though we are going to address all the dark sides of all those qualities that the ignorant use or get caught up in this Maya, in this dream drama delusion. And anyway, but the more that we recognize what is the evil, what is the dark side, what is that cunningness of temptation and all that, the more light that comes in. That's our program this morning, Ben. The more light. So if you're having some tough times these days, then that's just a sign that your soul is lighting you up, is lighting you up. So it is hope summarily shunned and vanquished from one storehouse of characteristics when we notice these things that aren't becoming of a person who wants to be happy. They're not becoming of a person who wants to be at peace. They're not becoming of someone who is, in her heart of hearts, is so sincere and so dedicated, even though we still have blemishes, even though we still have tendencies, even though we still have bad habits, even though we still have our dark nights of the soul. You know what I'm saying. So we're just trying to clear out the storehouse, though, the best we can this morning, Ben, and let the light kind of shine in. That's what we're doing. Let the light shine in. Once we start clearing out the storehouse of our characteristics that are no longer needed, we don't need to be drama kings and queens, right? We don't have to have the last say. You know, I think we all are growing in what I would say is leaps and bounds. Yeah, is leaps and bounds we are growing. Even the virtuous Yogananda goes on to say, this is on page 973, even the virtuous must be diligent in guarding against any invasion of evil tendencies. So we're bringing into the town, into the town, into the city, the troops that are able to guard us against any invasion of evil tendencies that may be lurking in the subconscious as karmic traits from the long forgotten past. They've been held in restraint, but not yet fully destroyed by virtue. Ah, virtue, destroying the dark side. The light. Turn on the light and the darkness vanishes as though it had never been. That's what it's saying, right? Not yet fully destroyed by the light yet. All right. So, but now we get to go to this collage of verses 7 to 18 in the Sanskrit. Well, of course, we're not going to try to even begin to think of it in terms of the Sanskrit here or try to use those Sanskrit words. But we'll read the English. We'll go into the English. Now, remember, every time we read one of these verses here in 7 to 18, the light or virtue or the virtue is in full gear, full operation mode, and it is destroying, it is bringing into the picture the light of your soul. How's that? How is that? Whenever there is dark, there is the light. Whenever there is dark, there is the light. Right? So we don't have to have any kind of judging going on about what we think how we're doing in this lifetime, right? Or how we're doing in a spiritual life that we have all been practicing together and individually. We don't have to think about it twice, my dears, because you can't lose. We can't lose if the dark is here and there is the light. And if the light is here, bring on the light and the darkness will vanish as though it had never been. How can we lose? So, are you ready for this collage or this barrage? I should probably say this barrage of not good qualities, like verse 7. Like verse 7, for example, the demonic know not the right path. The demonic know not the right path of action or when to refrain from action. Now, how can we, from this moment on, ever even get close to a judgment about anybody's life? Especially the people that you know, right? The ones that you don't know, well, you can make up anything in your mind. You can go any way you want to. But anyway, the demonic don't know. They don't know. We in our human, with this Maya delusion that even God shudders at the very thought of it, Yogananda says, we don't know. And we don't know when to refrain from action. And we've had those days that we lack purity and truth and proper conduct. That wasn't too difficult, this verse 7, was it? No, right? When we keep looking at just gotta look at the bright side of life. Boom, 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 boom. Remember that? So, verse 8. Now we're on a roll, my dears. The world, we think, in the dark mode, when we're in our dark mode, We think the world has no moral foundation. We think the world has no truth going on. We maybe even doubt that there is a God or a ruler, produced not by a systematic causal order. Its sole purpose is lustful desire. Desire, my great enemy, with his soldiers surrounding me, is giving me lots of trouble. Oh, my Lord, is giving me lots of trouble. Oh, my Lord, that enemy I will deceive, remaining in my castle of peace. Night and day, in thy joy, O Lord. Night and day, oh, night and day, in thy joy, O Lord. As we receive this world just as one thing, lustful desire. Right? Isn't this some kind of Armageddon between the dark and light side, my dears? Isn't it? Isn't it black and white kind of thing? Yeah. So, and then it says at the end of this verse 8 that we have that delusion that everything on this planet is about lustful desire. And then it says, what else? What else could there be to live for if there isn't this lustful desire for the things of this world and physical experiences, right? Why else are we here? Why did God give us this body, you know? They keep telling us it ain't easy. It really can't be done. After all, God made you one. You know, after all, you are a human. That's why God made you one. But those are the voices in the people in your head, and they keep hanging around. But what does it really matter when you have the light in your heart? What does it really matter when you have peace in your mind? And what does it really matter when you have your soul freedom? It was just a little song with the lyrics that I just remembered as we go along here on this verse 8 and now entering verse 9 as we keep the light on, because this verse says, with their feeble intellects. I think we all can just kind of smirk at our feeble intellects, don't you think? I mean, number one, why are we using the intellect? When you have a heart of intuition that's so beautiful, it pierces the dark. It's like a lightning bolt that pierces the dark. Yeah. So with our feeble intellects, this is verse 9, such ruined men and women cling. The clingers, like a Star Trek thing. Ah, here come the clingers. Such ruined men and women cling. They cling to their erroneous beliefs. Have you ever clung, Mary and Alex? Have you ever clung to your erroneous beliefs by any chance? Yeah, maybe even today there's going to be many opportunities to be a clinger or clung, a clunger on some erroneous beliefs, right? And if we're not careful, we could commit many atrocities. Mm. They are enemies of the world, bent on its destruction. That we feel like we're enemies of the world, bent on its destruction, right? When we have that feeble intellect, the clingers and the clangers and clungers, right? That we think this world is bent on destruction, you know? All right. So that's verse 9, no big deal. The light is just going, boom. The light is on. The game is on. We love to be the underdog. We love to be the underdog. Aren't you more of an underdog? Aren't you a hero in the making? Yogananda says spiritual path is for heroes, not for cowards. Not for cowards and the ignorant. He said, the spiritual path is not for weaklings. No, weaklings, he said, and cowards. It's for heroes. It's for heroes, my dears. So, are you ready for number 10 of this barrage this morning of the dark side? Why people shun the divine? So, it feels like in those times that we are clingers and clangers, that we're abandoned to insatiable longings. Insatiable longings. Do you have longings still for the things of the world, like if you were a teenager, right? You're a teenager again, huh? Or you're in college again, you went to a party college. Do you ever have those insatiable longings like in the good old days? Full of dissimulation, full of dissimulation, self conceit, sound familiar? And insolence, possessing evil ideas through delusion. All their actions are impurely motivated. Well, you get mad sometimes, don't you? You get mad sometimes. So you want to take it out on something or somebody, right? Or it's just the world's fault or someone else's fault, right? So we have impure motivation on things, and we're a little, want to get even, kind of, the whole deal. So this number 10 is pretty insane. Abandoned to insatiable longings, full of dissimulation, self-conceit, and insolence, possessing evil ideas through delusion. All their actions are impurely motivated. But listen, you have one day today. You have one breath at a time today. You have one free will moment of choice today, one at a time. Can you imagine how empowered you are as we address all these limiting ideas and these dark side things? Don't you feel more motivated than ever, my dears, to just and really celebrate when you're just in a moment and you're remembering the truth, let's say, or you just take a moment and freeze right where you are. I like that game that kids used to use, freeze, and you stop, you know, and you just be still because you want to listen to that beautiful conscience you have, right? That is giving you this bright side of life, isn't it? Doesn't that just bring that to the forefront of your consciousness when you are in the not so good consciousness, my dear? When you're impurely motivated, as Yogananda, every time that he was in a difficult situation, someone didn't get him, someone criticizing him, don't think that he just had a clear sailing at all. No, he what do you think it was like to go to Boston in 1920 and land there with an ochre robe and a beard and long hair? What do you think that was like, right? But he got motivated. But he got motivated to love these people that misunderstood him or didn't get him, love them and even more. So this is an even more. When we look at the dark side and these tendencies that we still have, like teenage tendencies or whatever, the way you want to look at it, and old desires perking, those are the samskaras that lurk in the background, that they're laying dormant and they're ready to sprout at any moment. You wonder, why the heck am I going down that road now? All right. So number 11, wonder if we'll get through these 18, or yeah, all the way to 18. We're on number 11. So in the dark, and when we're in the dark, we believe that fulfillment of bodily desires is man and woman's highest aim. That's the goal of humankind, is bodily desires, right? Let's go. Let's go. Right? As if these bodies ain't enough trouble as they already are, right? And then now we just focus on it, focus on that which is the least thing real about us, the physical body and its desires. In this case, we've gone berserko, and it's our highest aim, confident that this world is all that there is, Such persons are engrossed till the moment of death in earthly cares and concerns. I once saw a little joke that a guy was in his deathbed and he was going. He was going. He was almost on the other side. He was almost not breathing anymore. And they asked, "Is there anything you want to say to your loved ones?" And he said, he was a restaurant owner. He said, "Yeah, slice the slice the ham thin, boys. Slice it thin." Only thing he could think of was what his career was, his restaurant experience, and it's slice it thin, slice the meat thin. I remember that little story. But believing in the fulfillment of the bodily desires is man's highest aim, confident that this world is all there is. Such persons are engrossed till the moment of death. So, what are your last thoughts? What will your last thoughts be, Mary and Alex and Lisa and Jim and and Brooke? What and Narayan G and Venny? What will they be the last moment of death? Are they going to be all about earthly cares and concerns? Or are you just going to melt into the arms of God's everlasting, ever loving presence? Huh? Yeah. See how beautiful is the other side? There's two sides to the coin, and they both are great teachers. Number 12, bound by hundreds of fetters. Oh, not just one fetter, but bound by hundreds of fetters of selfish hopes and expectations, enslaved by wrath and passion. That's all. Those people bound by hundreds of fetters strive to provide for physical enjoyments by amassing wealth. By amassing wealth dishonestly. Does that sound familiar in today's world? Huh? Yeah, the hundreds of fetters, bound by hundreds of fetters of selfish hopes and expectations, enslaved by wrath and passion. They strive to provide for physical enjoyments by physical more of that stimulation, more of that, low vibe stimulation. They strive to provide physical enjoyments, and then they think that let's amass wealth dishonestly, because the more money we have, the better off we are, right? That's number 12. Ding, 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 ding. Bring on the light. Bring on the light. Ding, 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 ding. Bring on the light. Let's bring on this happy moment that we can just have the clarity and even smile at all of this stuff. That's what I'm feeling for us this morning. Number 13, this I have acquired today is another dark side, kind of trait or characteristic. This I have acquired today. Now another desire I shall satisfy. Another desire to go out and satisfy today. This is my present wealth. However, more shall also be mine. There's never enough. There's never enough, right? All right. That's number 13. And number 14, I don't know if I really understand this. It said, I have killed this enemy, and the others also I will slay. Maybe that's that enemy of being good, you know, sharing even, you know, having more of a compassionate attitude, right? Maybe that's what they kill. They kill all the do-gooders. We have killed the enemy, the do-gooders, and the others we will slay. I am the ruler among men. Sound familiar? I enjoy all possessions. I am successful, strong, and happy, just the way I am, just the way God made me. They keep telling me it ain't easy. It really can't be done. After all, you're just a human. That's why God made you one. But these are the voices of the people in my head, and they keep hanging around. But what does it really matter when we have love in our heart? When ding, 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 when the light comes shining in, right? What does it really matter when we have an absolute God invasion, meaning that God intrusion, God interceding into our life, and all of a sudden we feel bright, and we feel happy and we feel strong in the other way, strong in our true beliefs of the truth. Yeah. Number 15, I am rich. I am rich. I am well born. Can any other be compared with me? This is pretty good, right? Ostentationally, I will give alms. And it's got to be now a show. It's got to be a show now, right? When you're in this state of consciousness. Ostentationally, I will give alms and make formal sacrifices. I will rejoice. Thus they speak, led astray by lack of wisdom. Thus they speak. Thus they just want to show off. Show off. Look at me. Look at me. See, I do good to the world, right? I'm its savior, actually. All right. Number 16, harboring. Harboring. Now you're in a harbor. Don't mind me this morning, my dears. I really did woke up and I went, oh my God, am I really going to go through these 18 shunning the divine qualities? The last thing I want to do. Are harboring bewildering thoughts is 16, verse 16, harboring bewildering thoughts. Oh, nice. Have a peaceful day, my dears. Have a day of interiorization of your consciousness by harboring bewildering thoughts, caught in the net of delusion, craving only sensual delights. We sink into a foul hell. Anyone want to sink into a foul hell today? Huh? Hey, guess what? More light. You have a bad day, that just means more light. That just means more soul motivation that I'm going to go the opposite way. And, instead of a foul hell, I'm going to go to the heights of heaven. You know what I'm saying? So that's number 16. Number 17, this is just simple. We're vain, we're stubborn, we're intoxicated by pride and wealth. We perform the sacrifices hypocritically and without following the scriptural injunctions. That's all. No big deal, right? And number 18, looks like we're just going to kind of make it a wrap here this morning, my dear, because the light is getting brighter and brighter every time we mention these dark sides, secrets of, in ignobling, not enabling, but ignobling. I don't even know if that's a word. Qualities. Number 18, egotistical, forceful, haughty, and prone to rage. These malicious men and women despise me, who dwells within them and within all other men. These malicious men and women despise me, God, source, who dwells within them and within all other men. That they actually despise that there is something beautiful, that there's something meaningful, that there's something that is divine, that there's this truth, and it's pure, and it's holy, and it's sacred. They despise it. All right? But the more we despise, the more we recognize that there is just one really option. And you know what I'm going to say. And that is love, baby. Love until it hurts no more. Love until the light is shining so friggin' bright in your life that the only thing you can do is say thank you. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for this day. Thou and I are never apart. Wave of the sea dissolve in the sea. Wave of the sea dissolve in the sea. So do I, my Lord. Thou and I, never apart. There we go. All right. Well, if we want to go to the bright side even more, come to my meditation in a minute, okay? But thank you, everybody. Thank you for taking on the GITA challenge this morning as we look at all those qualities, because we had months of, looking at the ignobling qualities and now ignobling qualities. We got to, because Krishna wants us to just make sure that we are not thinking that, oh, this is just a walk in the park. All right. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, Ben. You're welcome, my man. Thank you, Mary, Alex, Lisa, Jim, and Narayan, and Brookie. God, I love you so much. And that is that. And it always will be. Love you all. See you in a little bit. Have a lovely day. Either way, have a lovely day either way. Aho. Namaste.